Oh my god, a Discord episode! I'm so excited! And there will be a new Star Trek series in 2017. I hope Senpai will be in it. I'm sorry, I got a little bit carried away. One episode later. Oh, come on! You probably guessed it by now, but I'm a huge Discord fan and I'm always happy when he appears in any shape or form. Episodes featuring him are usually among my favorites, so it kinda hurts me to say it, but this episode disappointed me. It wasn't bad by any means, I would call it okay, but I had the feeling that something was missing. Don't get me wrong, there were plenty of funny moments, but I think it could have been a little bit more over the top. The first few scenes are quite amusing. Discord hanging out with Rainbow Dash actually fits quite well, considering that both are pranksters at heart, and Orange Shy was quite hilarious.
Peanut butter hoof? Yuck, not even with jelly.
Imitating others. Who does this? Clearly not me, because I am superior! Problem is that these scenes were only funny thanks to the visuals, as it is the point this episode makes. It's not funny if you haven't been there, and it's even less funny if you have to explain the joke. So all that left is a bunch of bad puns. Or is there any pony that thought that Discord peanut butter dance was funny? If so, good for you. Well, that being said, their attempts to explain and recreate the situation still had some funny moments.
Time travel? Absolutely not.
Great wickering stallions!
Back to the Future jokes are so last October. However, I think there was a certain lack of payoff. At least it bugs me that we never see the situations in question in form of a flashback or through Discord's magic. After all, he is able to show ponies the past, and I think it would have been a fitting end for this episode if you were to show it to Twilight as soon as she has learned her lesson. Speaking of lesson...
No, the Princess of Friendship can't get jealous.
She has a fair point. Last time a princess got jealous, she spent 1,000 years on the moon, so it's understandable that Twilight says this. Okay, jokes aside, while the message that everyone can be jealous from time to time is not bad as a moral, it seems a little bit too weak, and I think this episode could have done better. For example, I have this friend that really likes video games and often declines offers to do anything for the sake of playing a game, so he misses out a lot of stuff. With this in mind, I think it would work better if the morale was more about accepting that you sometimes miss stuff, or that you should think twice before declining an offer a friend makes, because you want to do something you can do anytime. However, it shouldn't be too absolute, as it could be twisted into always do things with your friends and never do what you want. Not only would that be a bad lesson, it would contradict Scaremaster's lesson as well. Well, back to the morale we got. I think it should have been tackled with a Luna episode. After all, jealousy was the reason she turned evil in the first place, so the lesson would have had much more weight to it. While she was finally able to forgive herself and do Princess's dream of magic sheep, I think she would still have trouble to admit her feelings if there was a reason to be jealous on Celestia. It would be a good opportunity to make an episode about the relationship between the royal sisters. Perhaps an even better twist would be an episode about Celestia being jealous of Luna for some reason. Anyway, I think this episode should have focused a little bit more on its lesson one way or the other. I don't like the fact that Discord is the one responsible that none of her friends asked Twilight to join them. I think it would have been more effective if the opening scene was about her friends offering Twilight to spend the weekend together, but with her declining. This way, Discord would seem less like a jerk, and Twilight would have been at fault herself. It is pretty obvious that Discord intended to teach Twilight a lesson.
Of course not. That whole jealousy thing was just a happy accident. Certainly, we can all agree that Princess Twilight learned a valuable lesson here, that even she can have feelings of jealousy.
But I think he was portrayed a little bit too malicious. That being said, I really enjoyed the fact that he was finally portrayed as a friend of the main six. In all previous episodes since his redemption, the main six seems a little bit too hostile towards him.
Wait a minute, where's my throne?
I don't think you're quite there yet.
Well, I suppose not.
Of course, none of this would have happened if I hadn't encouraged Everypony not to invite you this weekend.
Apparently he is now. I'm also really glad that they featured Sakura. Since she made no appearances this season except a small cameo in Slice of Life, I was afraid that they wrote her out of the show. The scene in her heart really made this episode for me. Thanks to Twilight's comments that she knows what is funny. She probably read a 20-year-old book about it, and Sakura admitting that the green brew is just for show, so she wants ponies to think that she is an evil enchantress. Interesting. Okay, let's wrap things up. While I like this episode overall, I think it could have been better in terms of comedy and morale. I really like that Discord is finally on good terms with the main six. I'm always happy to see progress in its character arc, and this was overdue. But I still think this is perhaps the worst Discord episode to date. That being said, worst of something doesn't make something bad. I only want to say that it is less good than ever episodes with this specific character. But what about you? Did you like this episode? Anything that bothered you? Should there be a Luna dealing with jealousy episode? Let me know in the comments. I'm Tricky Fox, thanks for watching, and if you don't mind, Like, share and subscribe, or check out my other videos. Spoiler alert! As soon as some pony mentions time travel, Starlight Glimmer makes a cameo. Coincident? I think not.